So today I'm going to give you an introduction to RenMind wire cable and what the full network is. So I'd like to start with, what if you could help local businesses communicate more proficiently? And I think the core of our software gets to that exact question. So I'm going to start with kind of a demonstration of the front end of our wire platform and a bit about how you might use it. So I've got RenMind's wire pulled up here. You can see it at renmind.info. And we're going to just kind of look over the elements here. There's some latest posts on the left. There's some company information, some contact information, and some of our social media stuff here. We've got a featured review and a featured deal here. And you can see, you can keep scrolling and see more and more of our posts. Like, each of the posts also has a way that you can kind of click to read more. And they have these tags that sort of filter the number of posts into a category tag. So you can click on this and it'll reduce the number of posts to just show you whatever is in that tag. You can also click to read more. So we're going to do that so you can see what an individual post looks like. But we're also going to talk a little bit about the idea behind this whole thing. And really, it's all kind of a central communication point, and it's very functional in its purpose, and it looks functional because we really want to focus on the message and then getting that message out. So this is kind of a sophisticated business blog that really is for you to announce information, to drive people to points where you can collect their data, and then begin to have a conversation with them outside of their own timeline. So when you use Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or any of those, that is all happening on your user's timeline. They decide to go to Facebook and look it over. Facebook decides who to show, and you're sort of left, hoping that the right people see your messages. And ideally, what we want to do is kind of change that. We want to post content that's interesting. We want to promote it on all of our channels, and then we want to attract people to come back to our sites, hopefully leave their information with us, and then we'll be able to communicate with them when we have something worth communicating with them about. And hopefully that can occur in a way that feels more personal to them, like you're talking with them. And so basically, I'm going to go through kind of our most recent post here, which was about the RenMind network state of mind. And we sort of kind of gave a talk the other night about where we are and where we've come from, and about a new pilot program that we're launching. And so if you click on this post here, you'll see we added a video. We could sit here and watch this video. I'm not going to play it just right now. And then we've included a text version, kind of a summary of what is inside the video. And then at the bottom, we're asking for people who have watched the video and who are interested in our pilot program to express interest in our program. And this would help us collect their information. So now that we've got this down, we would be able to either click on our share icons here at the bottom, or we can actually go to Facebook and see or Twitter, see what's there, and write our own posts over there. So we're going to go to Facebook. And we are going to navigate to our correct account. And here we are at RenMind. And you'll see that on this account, I've posted a post that says, we just rounded the corner on our second year of RenMind Network. You can listen to my talk, blah, 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 blah. And I'm able to actually boost this post should I want to. And I've got a couple likes, and I haven't boosted it yet, but that's where we would want to get to. Because if I go to boost it, I can pick my audience, and I can extend my reach, and I can capture names from people who are interested from my marketing efforts. This is the beginning step. It's the place we acquire new folks to talk to, and then we have to sort of nurture them through whatever kind of process we're trying to get them through. And you might have more than one. So if we click on this, we'll see that it takes us over here to the RenMind Network blog post, and at the end here I'd be able to fill out the form to be put in the system. So that's kind of an overview of what Wire is and how it kind of works. We can kind of breeze through some of the other stuff. There's a place for reviews where you can capture reviews. If someone were to leave you a review, their information would automatically be entered into your contacts in the back end, and you'd be able to communicate with them. The same thing applies to offers. If someone was to be interested in a current deal that we had, those folks would go into our central contact management system, and the same with giveaways. If we had a contest, you could fill out the form and you would be added to our list. So all of our kind of features revolve around this idea of being able to capture contacts, and we have also a way to build lead forms in the back end, so you can build new forms and stuff fairly simply. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's a communication wire. It can work as a standalone website for small businesses and local businesses, but it can also just be an addition to an existing website, an external blog, kind of an external communication point. And for certain types of companies who maybe want to resell this wire, sometimes they may even want to manage this completely on their own and not allow the business themselves to kind of mess up their communication flow. Like, you may want specific things to happen at specific times, and in order to ensure that, you may not want the client to be participating. But it's set up so that they can, so you can use it as an administrator solely, or you can actually give your client access to it so that they can help you market their company. And so with that in mind, I'm going to kind of segue to part 2, which is how to leverage Wire as a business. And I'm kind of going to explain a micro agency business model here. Basically, a micro agency is a 1 or a 2 or a 3 person shop who would help clients with some aspect of their like business processes. So you could have a inbound marketing agency, you could have a copywriting agency, you could have a design agency, you could have whatever you wanted. And a lot of times people would just call micro agency a freelancer. But it's a little more polished than that. And the reason they can exist and do exist now is so much technology exists that we can streamline a lot of the processes, so we don't need as many people to run an agency as we used to. So it's really possible to run a very robust agency with just a few people and some contractors. The predominant style of micro agency that fits with RenMind's cable and wire is probably either content management or inbound marketing style agency. So really what you're trying to do is acquire customers, contact information, perform that acquisition duty, and then sort of nurture those people into a position where they would purchase something from you through using email marketing and other features of the system. So I'm going to go through quickly a client that we worked on not that long ago. Let's see here. We're going to go to buychuckwagon.info, and we have this domain pointed at a wire account for the Chuckwagon mobile grilling system, and they're using it to market their Chuckwagon grills. And you can see there's a dozen or more posts in here. Each one of them kind of has a different style capture mechanism. These recipes are trying to get people to sign up or download the recipe. You've got the 2-minute drill, which is seeing if you're ready to get pricing information, which pushes you to a different page where you might leave your contact information, and it's got a video. So, and then all this stuff gets promoted on Facebook and on Twitter and boosted to get attention. And kind of the way it worked out for us is sort of like this. We ran a 90-day custom marketing study. For us, the study ended up being a fairly substantial amount of money for us to run this test. We were able to track pretty much everything that happened, either through Wire itself, through Facebook, their own internal tools, or through Google Analytics, which is easy to integrate with RenMind Wire and cable. So with all the activities we were able to do over the course of that 90 days, we were able to kind of get a lead acquisition cost of about $15 if you include only Facebook leads, and if you include all the leads we captured, it was around $10 a lead, and that's over the cost that we spent marketing it in terms of ad dollars, not in terms of full cost of the leads, including program setup and other things. But you can see we got thousands of visitors, thousands of people, 14,000 people to the buychuckwagon.com landing page. We got 5,000 or more people to just view their Wire account. Specifically, there's the generic Wire account. We got 500,000 people kind of saw one of our campaigns, and really the amount of money we spent on Facebook over that time was about $3,000. So a lot of the money we spent is writing content, it's strategy, it's integrated email, it's timing and thoughtful communication. And then, keeping track of all this stuff and what stuff works, and then replicating that and growing the stuff that works and removing the stuff that doesn't work and the noise from that stuff. So that's basically, what you would do as a micro agency. Is you'd run these little campaigns, you'd produce content, you drive people to their sites, you capture those email addresses, and then you nurture them to a sale. And then repeat for different clients. You have to be a little clever, but mostly the techniques are the same, and the software product helps you to do that efficiently. We're in the process of kind of unrolling a pilot program, and when we are ready to announce the details, I'll also provide this example case study and some pro formas that you might want to fill out to try to get an idea about what kind of money you could make on top of the platform. But it's safe to say that in our tests, we ran as a micro agency for several years, and we certainly were able to earn over $100,000 a year with our much more primitive tools, and we think this will help streamline the process even more. So it's possible with just one or two people, you could do quite well for yourself on the back of the software. So with that, we're going to move on to what is RenMind Cable, and we get started with that by going to log in here, and we're going to do that at renmind.net/resadmin. And here we are. We've logged in. We skipped the login screen, but it's actually, let me start over again here. Log back out, And what the login here is. Okay. We're going to log in here as RenMind. And here we go. So this is when you log into your cable account, this is what you would see if you're a micro agency. You get to see a dashboard, kind of some stats about what's happening in your accounts. You get to see all of your accounts here that you've already set up. This is probably the most important thing, we can assume any of these accounts and do actions on their behalf. So if I wanted to, I could say pick Friends of Art. And I can click on their name, and now I'm using their account like them. This is the administrative area for a wire. We can see their activity, their contacts. We can see a place to set up email. See their settings, all of this stuff. So basically we can help them market themselves through this interface, which is extremely easy to get to. It's extremely easy to operate on, and it serves the purpose of helping them communicate. And you can see kind of what their profile area looks like here. If we were to view their site by clicking this little thing here, we can see that they have a wire account that's very similar to Chuckwagon or the RenMind wire that we looked at just a little bit ago. Hopefully. There we go. The Friends of Art people are using a newer application that we're just getting ready to release, which is called Pitch Pages, and that lets them sort of have a form at the bottom and a more traditional homepage style layout. We can click on Latest, and you'll see that this site looks very much like the RenMind and Chuckwagon sites we've seen before once we get to this level. The difference is that they have a home button, and they can go back to that home page and kind of see the splashier look. But for now, let's get back to their admin area. So here we are again. We're going to kind of whip through some of the features here for RenMind's wire backend. But first things first, I'm going to show you how you exit back out of a client's account. So right up here, my username is Robert, and I'm going to go ahead and click at the X up here, and you'll see that I come back here to my cable account. So this may seem like a really simple thing, but all you have to do to spin up a new wire account is click Add User. You give them a username, a company name, first name, last name, email address. You set a password, and you select which brand you want them to operate under. And for us, we have two custom brands set up, RenMind.in and RenMind.org, and everyone can see the RenMind.net, and that's what you use if you haven't yet set up any brands. Once you add those users, they'll show up in the user thing, and you can click to add to access them at any time. Should you need to edit one of them, you can click on the edit, and you'll be able to edit their information, even switch the brand that they're operating under to a new brand, and then you can click save, and they'll save the account. You can also add administrators for your cable account. You can do that here. You can manage your admin users there and add additional ones here. That would be if you wanted more than one person to help you manage your cable account. You can set up global lists, which are lists that are accessible for your clients if they're managing their own email. You may want to set up a global list with all of your administrators from your cable account so that they can easily email you. You might have other reasons to create lists, and that's what this is for. There's credit plan settings where you can set a fee per credit. You can also create plans with monthly fees and issue a certain number of credits automatically each month. You can set your name and the charge on the account, and you can provide a description for those plans. If you use the internal billing system, you'll need to set up Stripe. Stripe is free. to apply for. It has no monthly fees, but it does charge you about 2.9% for transactions. And basically you get a secret key and a publishable key, and you save them in here. And your billing history would show up behind that. Beyond that, we've got some logs, which will show you kind of who's using your accounts and how much. You've got brands, which allow you to set up new brands for yourself. I have 2 here. It's very simple to add a new one. You just add a domain name and a logo. You can set them to be your defaults, and then all you have to do is point your domain name from your registrar to our servers, and then it'll resolve correctly. I can show you what your brand-specific logins will look like at the end here. There's also a few settings for yourself that you can update, like your email or your password. Let's take a look at brands here. This is the brand called RenMind.in, and you get to set up styles, which are for email. There are wrappers that your clients won't be able to mess up very easily. Then inside those wrappers, you have templates, and these email templates basically let you set up formatted emails with content in them, and we'll take a look at one real quick here. So we've got a simple style that we've selected. You could pick from any of the ones we've pre-set up. That's what's happening on the outside here, the company name value. You can see if we switch to signature that the format changes, and now the information's at the bottom. And if we wanted a centered signature, we could change that and it would change again. So we can pick whatever style we want. We can set up new styles as we need. And then all the content that happens is in here. And this is editable by your end user, but they may want kind of still a little bit of a preset letter or flyer, or this is where the images go and the sizes and stuff like that. That's what you would set up in this system. We pop over here to opt-in email. This is the preset opt-in email that you're able to give your clients if they want to enroll people who they have contact information for, but who have not yet signed up for their email newsletter notifications. Each of your brands will be added to the end here, so you can have unlimited. Though at the moment, if you have more than a few, it'll kind of break the style, but we're kind of working on that. So let's see here. So let's take a look at another account. I'm going to grab the RenMind account here. And I'm going to quick whisk through kind of the features of a wire account in the admin area. So we're going to go over here to contacts, and basically in our contacts area, we can change what values we see. Which will update this area down below. We could say, we don't want email address, we want zip code and phone and date added, and it'll change it to only show those fields. You can manage a contact, add notes, tags. You can click to follow up with them or even send them a direct message just to that one person. You can load styles if you want a signature that you've already set up. It'll load it. It'll load only the dynamic variables, so if you want to see the official one, you can go to preview and send yourself a note, or preview it in an external window. You can also set up bulk mail. This is under email, and then in this one you would select a contact list. And for lists, we can go back to contacts here, and we can see that contacts have the ability, oops, I forgot to click, to have follow-up lists, which is what we were talking about before. You can also star these inline. So if we star Blue Jet, we star Calvin Jones, then we get those folks in our follow-up list when we get over there. This is a kind of a simple version of a CRM. It's a good place to start getting all your contacts in one place and figuring out how you want to follow up with them. We can also do lists. We can create dynamic lists by building a query. These dynamic lists automatically get updated and they're extremely powerful. So for instance, you could say, I want to know all of the people whose city is Omaha. And I could refresh my rule and I'd see that if I created this list called Omaha list, I would have 23 in the list and 18 of them would be subscribed. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And you'll see that in my list now we have an Omaha list that has 23 contacts and 18 subscribers. You can also set up a manual list where you pick the people. Obviously, you'd want to change the fields so you can find the person. We don't have an email field enabled in this demo because we don't want to have to cover that up. But if you did, you'd be able to see that and check the people who you wanted in the list. You can even upload a CSV to match people in your list to kind of curate a manual list more automatically. When you're done, you just fill out a list name and you click Save. Forms are easy to set up in the system, so you can build a form by basically adding a new form, clicking the fields that you'd like to select, adding a headline and a little intro text, and selecting any tags you might want. And once you do that, you can save your form and you should be good to go. So just name our form name, hey, fill out the form, and then you kind of just pick your field. So first name, last name, required, email address, required, opt-in, required, opt-in message, please sign up. Actually, we're going to make that not required, and then you can even select it by default. You can set a return page, hey, thanks, and even a response email. And you can select any tags you might want to automatically tag the people with that fill out this form. When you're done, you click Create Form, and that builds the form. And you can check out that form by going and clicking on the link there, and it'll open in a new page. And there you go. Here's our form. Hey, fill out the form. We also can set up additional fields if we want. If we want a new field, you can add one. This is important at the beginning to figure out what you want to track and keep track of. You can choose from text, numeric, date, and select fields, which is like a drop down. And you can click the box to make them editable by the actual recipient if you allow them to update their information. So, with that, that's kind of the basics of contact. We can then kind of skip over here. I'm going to go, this is just generic settings for the applications. You can add a company logo and photo. That is ideal. Add as many of these attributes as you can. You definitely need to fill out your address, city, state, zip to be spam compliant. And you can go over here to apps and you can add additional apps that you might want to use. So we have enabled offers, reviews, giveaways, publish, and we're testing products. So these apps are all enabled and we can disable them should we want to. To change apps, you can click up here, pick the different app you want to go to, and you can jump to it. We can add additional users to access the wire if the client wants to share this access with someone else. You can set up social links in here and choose whether you want to display them or not. and you can add a tracking code, which is a place for you to paste your Google Analytics or other sort of tracking codes. That's the ins and outs of the basic system. And then we're going to get quickly into and through the different apps. And I'm just going to hit the high points of them. And I'm going to do them in the order of which ones I think are most likely to be interesting to most folks. Before I do that, I also want to point out the support area. There's a knowledge base. You can ask a question, request a feature, report a bug, all from inside your interface if you'd like. You can also send us a note at support@renmind.com, and one of our friendly support reps will help you out. So let's skip over to what I think is the most important app, which is Publish. It's a fairly new app, but it lets you publish blog content, posts, very simply. You can edit tags. This is the group of like category tags you have at the bottom. They're really easy to add. We only have 4. And then you can click new post, and you can choose between different types of post content types. There's a general and a video, and there'll be more coming soon. So for the general though, you just fill out a title, you click to grab an image, you pick one out, you click open, it'll upload it, add it to the post. You can then add a title, some content. You can choose which tags you'd like to have in the system. So there, our photo's been updated. We can say, come to our great event. We can add content. Here is the content. And we can add our tags to the bottom if there are any that are applicable. You can also pick a date in the future or now. And you can save as a draft if you're not ready to publish yet. And so we're going to go ahead and publish, and we're going to save it as a draft because I don't want it to show up. And you can see here that it's published, and then it shows up as a draft. And if I want to delete it, edit it, or view it, I can click these buttons, and I'm going to just delete it because I don't actually want that post to go live. So yeah, that's the basic point of Publish. We've got reviews, which help you manage reviews. They make it really easy to say, hide a review. Oh, I don't want to see that one anymore. Or even delete a review if it's complete rubbish. So let's take a look at our hidden reviews here. And this one right here is clearly just a test that I did myself. So I'm going to delete it, permanently delete it. Okay. And now that's gone. You can also export your reviews, and you can set up a number of different things about how they work. For instance, you can, this is how you request an email, or request a review by email. Here's your email or your review labels, a leading question, and the thank you if someone happens to leave a review for me. And you can set up some other stuff down here if you'd like. The other apps we have are offers. Offers are really simple. You can have more than one deal. You can choose one of them that you want to display above all others. You can choose whether they're public, visible, or unlisted. You can choose an expiration date, either fixed or timed. You can create a file to download, and you can create a verification code or a coupon code that gets sent with the offer. You can define the overall deal, and you can also add some fine print if you want. There's ways to kind of see who you've got for leads and some tracking information, so you can see how you're doing and getting people to subscribe to these offers as well. And then the final one that's probably worth talking about here is the giveaway app, which is basically just a contest. It's super simple to set up a basic contest, follow the same kind of basic style of adding a new contest and filling out the details to launch a contest. So with that, I'm getting awfully long. I feel like I've gotten the overview kind of well done here. So we can go into depth and into any of these apps as you want, as you have questions and such. So let's exit back to our administrative panel. Again, you just click the little X, and you're back to your cable account. And with that, we'll consider our tour complete, and we're going to go ahead and click log out. and we're back to our ResAdmin login screen. So thanks for taking the time to look around cable with me and wire. And if you have any questions, send us a note at support@renmind.com. Thanks. Well, that's it.